Hey, just a quick note for this recording. It does cut out later on, so so don't worry if the picture just transitions to a GIF or something that I just put in. Just wanted to let you know that there's nothing wrong with your PC or what your device you're watching this on or anything. But it's just to let you be aware. All right. Hey yo, how's it going, everybody? It's a Gentle Giant Dan here. Wow, it's been a quite a long while since the last time I've done a video, but this is actually a little bit more of a life update video rather than a usual gamer stream. Well, or gamer stream or gamer content or anything like that. Bit like I said, life update. Not many people knew this, but I was actually dating someone, and now I am not. It wasn't made very public because she wasn't a very public person, but that's what I'm going to divulge a bit for today, because do you know what? It's not the fact that everybody needs to know, but this is me just getting my word out there and saying my 2 cents on the whole thing, about the whole process and what happened, really. Basically, she moved into the house with myself and my child back in May of last year, and she only lived there for about a year or so. And to be fair, I should have seen a lot of the red flags at the start, but it's just a frustrating process. I'm sure like many people out there, men, women and everything in between, have been there before. I gotten out of a relationship of like 10 plus years with my narcissistic ex-wife, and to prove that, it was, and like many even people experts have said this, once a relationship is over, they will end up finding someone very fast. And they also say the people that cheated in a relationship are the ones that find relationships straight after, and the ones that were loyal and honest are the ones that spend the rest of their time trying to heal. And that was me for at least about 2 years, 2.5 years after that happened. Found someone else, and it was the same fucking cycle with this one. It was good at the start, and yes, I'm not perfect as well. My behaviour wasn't as good, but at least, I'm not abusive. I'm not an abusive person. I'm not a drunk. I don't smoke or anything like that. I just had some anger issues because of past traumas that I have been working on. But yeah, she had trauma from her own past, from when she was a teenager, from when a parent's friend, well, her dad's friend, did things to her and her 2 older sisters as well. Well, the sisters down from her. And yeah, but yeah, the dad's still sided with the friend on that case. And to be fair, I thought her dad was a bit of a prick fucking arsehole. And every time I wanted to see him, I wanted to punch him in the fucking face because of the amount of shit he used to do to her. Because she told me that he ended up strangling her one time to the point of where he almost killed her, if it wasn't for one of her sisters having to drag their father off of her. So there was a lot of unhealed trauma from both of our sides. But with me, I was managing it quite well. But hers, she just had a lot on her plate. She had BPD, DID, schizophrenia and all sorts, and had all kinds of relationships where the guys were just absolute arseholes towards her. And in turn, she used that as a catalyst for putting sanctions on me. Now, I get, obviously, you got to have boundaries in any relationship, because there's got to be some kind of line you do not cross. in terms of that kind of stuff. And for her, I couldn't watch certain anime or something like that, and I was kind of confused because like she said, like, no any of the adult stuff, and I was like, well, obviously that's a given, because if you're in a relationship, you know, I think that kind of thing would be something that you don't really do. But anime, it just kind of threw me, because I thought that was kind of like, oh, because she says because it's moaning, because it's like that. So she used the excuse of her schizophrenia and her DID, that if she heard, so if I was just sitting, like, she even did it with my kid, that because my kid likes watching YouTube a lot of the time and stuff. She does a lot. She watches a lot of anime as well herself, and she watches a lot of compilation videos, and especially like Gacha Life and all that kind of stuff. And there was a video, and that they use meme videos with them, and there was one day where it was, the meme was, it was using characters of like a meme of a Japanese anime doing like uwu and all that kind of stuff. And I heard her go into my daughter's room, and she said to her, "What the fuck are you watching?" And my daughter just went, "I'm watching Gacha Life." And she went, "You better be." And then she came, I was a bit confused. She came downstairs, and I said to her, what was that all about? She went, "Your daughter's up there watching this and that." And I was like, so I went upstairs to check the scene myself, and it was exactly that. It was the Gacha Life, it was the kids, like the little animation things that you can do, and someone just overlaid. And I was like, yeah, but that sound was from, she was like, yeah, but the voice is in my head, and that's every time she would do that kind of shit. And the problem was that was the foundation of our relationship, that any time I tried to do anything, it was always questioned. Like, even if I was sat just like behind me here on the couch and I was playing a game, like, I'd just be sitting there like this. And as you normally do, as any human being, you go, "Oh, I need to go to the bathroom," right? When you get that urge, when you get that feeling, right? I pause the game, I put the controller down. The moment I put my controller down, even though she'd be sitting next to me on her phone like this, on Discord, by the way, she'd go, "Where are you going? What are you doing?" I go, "Well, I need to go to the toilet." She'd go, "Well, go on then." As if to give me fucking approval to go up and do it, right? Then there'd be times where I'd finish a game, and obviously me being a single dad, because she wasn't the mother of my child, and the fact she was a lazy arsehole, even though she said, "Oh, that's not my laziness, that's my ADD, ADHD. I was like, yeah, well, do you know what? I've got autism and an ADHD as well, but I still run a household. I still do all the chores. And yet, even when I did because there was even one time she argued with me that, "Oh, you don't ask me to help." And I say, "Yeah, because when I do ask you to help, you bitch and moan and complain that, like, something's bugging you. Something's like, oh, I don't feel up to it. I don't want to do this. I can't do this because of this, because of that." And I just stopped. Even though she wanted communication throughout this relationship, every time that I would try to communicate with her, it almost ended up in a fucking argument with her. Every time. To the point of like, do you know what? I'm just not going to communicate no more. And it just really, really annoyed me. And the one thing that really, really hit me, there was two incidents that really was the final nail in the coffin for me in regards to the relationship, right? That even though she was a smoker, this isn't one of the incidents, but I'm just relaying back to something else that she used to do. Being a smoker, she was constantly smoking. I didn't mind her smoking in the house, but she would always use it under the extractor fan, and everything. Even though when it got to the warmer months, she would always say shit like, "Oh, like once it starts warming up, I'll go outside and smoke outside." So, and then even when it did, she still never did, even though she promised me. And that's how I also knew that I was dealing with a narcissist. That it was just like my ex-wife. And that was one thing she would always say, "You keep comparing me to your ex-wife." And I'm like, no, I don't compare you. If I would, I'd be saying, you are just like Laura, like, you are just like Laura and stuff. But I never did. I would tell her the things, what my ex used to do to me. And I would just say to her, just don't do that to me or my child. Because we have both gone through hell through that. And we don't need to be dealing with that again. And she said, "Oh, yeah, I'll be like a mum to her and this and that." Some days she will, and some days she would just be an overbearing mum and then be a mum to her, to the fact of like you need to kind of step back, and then she would start telling me what I can and can't do with my own child. Like, she would start telling me I need to take her out of school to go on trips with her family. To suit her and her family, and I was like, I'm not doing that. And then she would get angry at me. "Oh, you don't want to meet my family. You don't want to do this with my family." It's like, as much as I do, the fact is my child comes first, and she never understood that. Because I wanted to because my child's needs come first, and she always used to throw that in my face in arguments. When I used to say, like, I said to her, "If you're upsetting me, it's affecting me and my child." And then she would say things like, "Oh, you're bringing the mood in this whole house down with your depression and this and that." Well, because if you weren't being such a fucking cow and doing the shit that you were doing, then it wouldn't have affected my mood, in turn affecting my child, which in turn, beforehand, when I said to you, "Don't do this, don't do A, B, C and D," I'll be fine. But she disregarded A, B, C and D and still kept doing it. And then when shit hit the fan, she just started going, "Oh, it's all you, like, oh, everything's about you, everything's got to be about you." No, it's not the fact about me. The fact is that I am the one looking after my child. Because I am the only one. Yes, I have my parents, but my parents aren't 100% reliable, because they have their own health issues and work and all kinds of stuff. You know, they've got their own life. I can't keep relying on them. And they're the only family that I have here. They're the only people I can depend on. And she knew that. She knew that, and other people know that as well. So I literally only have 2 people here that I can rely on. And that just didn't register with her. Because without me, my child would just be, I mean, yes, she would have like my mum and dad, but she just didn't grasp that. She just didn't care. But 2 of the things that really annoyed me, going back to the whole anime thing, was that she went through, like, I was showing her one of my photo albums, because she was just interested in, like, excuse me, one of like my backstory and all that kind of stuff, what I used to do as a kid. And I was like, well, I got a photo album there and stuff, you know. I'll show you. I took it out, and there's a photo of me at my 16th birthday party. Now, over in England, there's a thing that you can get. I don't know what it's called over in America or the other countries around the world, but it's what is called as a strippergram. Or just a lap dancer, but it's a more mature friendly, like they don't get topless or fully nude or anything like that, but they keep their underwear on, basically. So I'm 16, and so I'm in a pub having like a little drink, not an alcoholic drink. I was having something like a Coke or a lemonade or something. I can't remember exactly what. I can't remember everything. But I was there with like my mum, dad, brothers, nephews, and all that stuff. And she comes in. So I've got the picture, and my ex-girlfriend now, obviously, looks at this picture, and she goes, what the fuck is this? I go, what do you mean? Like, she got angry at me. She got actually angry at me. And then she ended up closing the book and walking off. And I was like, okay. And she sends me a text message saying the voices in my head are going mad. Are going mad because of all these pictures of you, with that girl, and the anime girls and all this kind of stuff and everything. And I was like, hang on. You're getting angry at me because the voices in your head were angry because of a picture that was taken when I was 16, like 18, 19 years ago. You are kidding me. You are angry at me because of something that happened 2 decades before I even met you. Like, wow. I tell you, it's like, wow. It's almost like one of these fucking Twitter trolls or some shit that is like, oh, we need to cancel this person because of something they said like 35 years ago. Fuck off. You know, fuck off with that shit. Sorry if I'm being a bit foul-mouthed. It just hits a nerve with me when people are like this. But anyway, that was incident number 1. Incident 2 was that I knew there were certain things that she was doing. And what really pissed me off, that she was hitting me with double standards throughout this entire relationship, right? She would goad me with the fact of like, oh, I want to be with you. But then she would still be fraternising and flirting with other people, like other men on Discord, right? Who she claimed as her friends and stuff. And then she would proceed, then she moved in with me. And then she was still like, oh, I don't know what kind of relationship I want, but was still flirting with these men. And I'm like, okay, why the fuck did you move in then if you didn't want a relationship? Oh, I do want a relationship. But I was like, hang on. But so she wanted to build a relationship. She moved in saying that, oh, she wants something. And then when she moved in, about 2 months down the line, she just goes, oh yeah, boom, boom, something different. I'm like, what? Like, I just couldn't believe it. And I was like, do you know what? And then when she would purposely flirt in front of me with other guys and stuff, and to the point of where I told her, like, don't do that with me, because people have done that to me in the past, to the point of where it was malicious, and it really pissed me off. Because the fact is, like I said, that she knew my previous wife had cheated on me, and she knew about this, but she knew how to press my buttons, and she purposely did this. Hence another thing that a narcissist does. Even though she herself told me that I'm the narcissist, right? Get this, when I broke off with her, right? But months before that, when her sister came up and visit, they actually said to me that because their parents, both their mum and their dad, are both narcissistic cunts, their words, that they both have narcissistic traits. So they are aware that they have narcissistic traits, right? But throughout the entire relationship, she never once apologised for any shit that she'd done to me or my child. Not once, right? The second instance where the final nail hit the coffin was with... was with this. Now, what annoyed me the most about this was that what just annoyed me was that she obviously, like I said, with the whole anime thing, wasn't allowed to have certain pictures on my phone or videos or anything like that, right? Now, she got angry at me one day because the voice in her head, because, like I said, the voices in her head were going at her one day. This was probably about, I'd say, 3 months ago, something like that. And she went, I want to see your phone. I went, okay. Took my phone out, unlocked it, gave it to her and everything. I went, there you go. She was scrolling through. She went, what the fuck is that? And I went, oh, it's a picture. She went, it's fucking adult. And I went, what? This is the picture in question. I might blow it just in case, but it's not bad. It's lewd at best, I would say. Right? Or I'll just quickly throw up the picture here or something, right? But it's a picture of Tifa Lockhart, as we all know, like, well, many of us Final Fantasy players know, of her. It's her in her bikini, like in the actual outfit that she wears in the game, on a sunbed, fully clothed. Nothing adult about that, but she got angry at me and claimed it was adult and all this kind of stuff and everything, and I was like, really? She got angry at me and everything. I said, okay, let me look at your phone. She got defensive. Oh, I don't have anything like that on my phone. I was like, right, okay. Being the man that I was, right there and then, I should have actually said, right, don't show me the phone, get the fuck out. Because hitting me with that double standard of that kind of bullshit, and especially in front of my child as well, that the fact is that this is a woman that when she would sit on TikTok and see all these guys, like, I don't know, you know that song Insane by that Korean song star? I can't remember his name, but the one that does that boom 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 boom, and everybody's done that new dance trend with it, with the belt or something like that. She would watch videos of guys with their shirts off dancing with that, and she'd be like, obsessed. Oh, he's so fucking hot. And I said to her one day, okay, why can't I say that about a female character that I like in a game or in a video or anything like that? But she was allowed to say that about real people. And she went, no, that's different. I was like, oh, well, there we go. So it's more worse to cheat on a fictional character than what it is a real person then, is it? Because that was her fucking logic. It was okay for her to fawn over and have fucking orgasms over people on TikTok and stuff. But if I so much as like smiled at a female character, it was like, no. Like literally, it was like whiplash, I tell you. And it was just, and it just got to a point. And after that, I just started to lose all feelings for her after that incident, because at the start of the year, like a whole year before she had been living there, at the start of this year, there was some issues. My dad was in a very horrific car crash. He survived, but unfortunately someone else didn't. And it's an investigation that's still going on, trying to find out who caused it and all kinds of stuff. Nobody knows. He suffered quite badly. He's like his femur ended up coming up through the top of his leg and out through his hip and stuff. So it was a bad compound fracture and stuff that he endured. So yeah, so dealing with that, and that just didn't help my depression at all. Obviously dealing with my fucking narcissistic ex in the house at the same time, and that was pushing my depression even more. So, and she was like, you need to get onto medication, you need to take the antidepressants, you need to do this, you need to do that. She was forcing me to, well, I wouldn't say forcing, but she was egging me on to get on to antidepressants because of how bad I was. And it was, what I found really, really stupid was that I was fine up until she decided to be the way that she was, and she didn't really see that. But that's another narcissistic thing. They don't really see the damage that they do to someone until or never, really. So, but yeah, and so yeah, there was that. So I'm on these pills, and then towards the end of the relationship, she would say things like, "Oh, why don't you want to do stuff in the bed anymore? Why don't you do this, do that?" And I said, "Well, like I'm just not in the mood, and plus I'm dealing with a lot of stuff. Like I'm trying to figure out a career path and stuff, because obviously being a single dad, my sole focus is having to raise my child, but I'm trying to make a way of making money on YouTube, or try to set up a business or something, so that I can financially support myself, my child, and even my parents as well, because that is what I want to try to do, because they're getting older, and especially after this accident, you know, it's just rung a lot of bells for myself, my mum and my dad. So yeah, so my mind was solely focused on that. Sorry, I just heard a loud ping upstairs. I'll have to check that and check out what that was in a bit. But yeah, so and yeah, so I've got that on my mind, as it would be for any normal person on the face of this planet. And she'd say things like, "Oh, come on, just get over it, because it's been a couple of months since then, since, you know." And this is the same bitch whose own abusive father, like, had found a cancerous lump on his ear, because the dumb idiot went out in the heat, in severe heat. I think it was during the start of this year or something like that. And he wasn't wearing any sunscreen. He wasn't wearing a hat or anything like that. So he had a big massive lump on his right ear, and he had to go to the hospital for it, and they had to do a biopsy on it. Unfortunately, was benign. Unfortunately, fucking asshole, deserved it to be terminal. But anyway, but yeah. So, and then she would use that as an excuse. She said, "My dad's been in the hospital with cancer and he's got over it." Yeah, because that was his ear. My dad's been in a car accident. It's hurt his leg, and he can't walk. Well, he can now, kind of, but he still has to. He still has to kind of use a crutch. He's got to do physiotherapy and stuff, and a compound fracture is nothing to sniff at, you know. And she didn't understand that. She's just like, "I'll get over it," kind of attitude. And then there was just one day that I just decided, you know what, fuck it all. She went to her parents, and before she went, we had a bit of an argument about space in the house. And I was like, hang on, she's been here a year, and she just decided to pull this out, even though before she moved in, I had made a ton of space for her. I gave up so much of my stuff and space in this house for her, and she still complained, "Oh, you're still putting me in a corner." And I was like, after a year, you're only complaining about it again now. So I was like, you know, she left for her parents, and I was like, right, that's it. I made a TikTok and put it on TikTok showing like what the fuck this is about, because many people actually do this as well, that they actually like do videos of when they're called out, not called out, but more of, you know, of when people do stuff or behave a certain way, and they do this to prove to people, okay, then you want to say this, right? I've got a counter for that. And so I did. I made a TikTok. I put it out there, and then she bitched and moaned at me, saying, "What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? You need to take this down, blah, blah, blah," and everything. Then her friends started attacking me and everything, and I was like, oh, okay, so you're allowed to, like, you were allowed to talk to your friends about our bedroom activities, and yet, which is a private personal matter, and yet when it comes to this kind of stuff, that was off, like, that was a boundary. not to tell people about what was going on in our relationship, but it was okay for your friends to know about what we were doing in the bedroom. Like, this girl just did not have a fucking notion. And even when she would talk to me sometimes, like, she would talk down to me like I was stupid. She'd say something and she'd say, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? And I'd just go, yep. Like, I would just blank most of the times. Most of the times when she actually, honestly, up until like 5 months before I broke it off of her, I just went, yeah. It just went in one ear and out the other, because I was just sick and tired of hearing her talk at most times. Because most of the time, wouldn't be surprised if most of the stuff that she told me throughout the relationship was bullshit anyway. Because she would tell me different stories, or she would tell me stories, or the same story about 3 or 4 times, but each time she told me the story, it would happen, like, it would be different every single time. And, whatever. But as they say, you don't feed into a narcissist supply, otherwise they just goad into it. And I was like, yep. But as I was saying, with the antidepressants that I was on, when I decided to call things to an end, I came across a TikTok that, funny enough, actually talked about antidepressants and bedroom performance and stuff, right? And I was like, okay. Now, prior to me dumping her, there was time when her voices in her head told her that, oh, I wasn't getting aroused for her because she wasn't skinny, she wasn't pretty, she wasn't this, she wasn't that. You know, so she was allowing the voices once again to have their way, which annoyed the hell out of me. But anyway, sorry, and it just annoyed the hell out of me regarding that, and but I found out the reason why I was having, because I thought I was just anxious, or that I just had a lot on my mind or something like that, or if I was just getting to that age of my life of where, like, you just don't perform well. And I was thinking about going for hypnotherapy. She was the one that suggested it. She says she was always goading me to get help for the things that I had, but if I told her to go get help for her stuff, she'd be like, oh, fuck off, I don't need this, I don't want that on my medical records, I don't want this, I don't want that. But it was okay for her to tell me to go I had to go to therapy for things, just because she wasn't okay with them. Fair enough for the depression and stuff, you know. Obviously I was down for that, because obviously, you know, we all have our down days. But then the whole, like, oh, you need to go to a hypnotherapist for this because I want this and I want that. I think that's the reason why she was just the way that she was. She was just pissed off just because she wasn't getting none. Because she was a fucking nymph. And it certainly proves it, because the fact is that the kicker, like I said, she I broke off with her and she already found a new man within 2 weeks of breaking off with me, and she's already claiming that he is the love of her life. She wants to marry him, she wants to have children with him, and all this bullshit. He's the best boyfriend she's ever had and everything. And it's like, wow. And the funny thing is that she comes to me one day and she says to me, oh, just to let you know, he wants to let you know that there was no cheating involved, because he doesn't want to be labelled a homewrecker. I was like, and that's the thing that he's most worried about? Being a homewrecker? Not the facts that he was literally predatory to the point of that he was literally in the background, and the moment you became single, he was like, right, let's fucking date. And she was like, yeah. So, you know what I mean? like, I think there was something going on, because she was forever always on fucking Discord. Like, you couldn't pry her away from that thing. It was like a life depended on it, really. But anyway, you know, so, but yeah, so the antidepressants, turns out there was a chemical or a compound in them or something like that. I think it was an SRII or an SRII or something that actually lowers sex drive. And I was like, huh, okay. Told her this, and she had this stoic look on her face. Like, when she came up to my house to pick up her stuff and everything, she looked at me when I told her this, and she went stoic for about, I'd say about 10, 15 seconds. And then all of a sudden she went, yeah, but you know what the voices in my head were like, though? You can't really blame them, can ya? Like, literally no accountability for the fact of, like, she snapped at me because I wasn't performing well in bed to her standard. Right? And the very fact is that she was the one that got me on the fucking antidepressants. She was the one that pushed for them. I'd get on them, and then she got angry at me because one of the side effects was a lower sex drive. So she got angry at me because of that. I was so glad the moment she turned around to me and she said, well, you know that voices are like, didn't even apologise or nothing. Not a thing. And do you know what the sad thing is, though, is that looking back, she never once apologised for anything that she did. But yet she made me apologise for things. And even when I did apologise things on my own back, and I said, like, look, okay, I'm sorry, I got it wrong, this happened, that happened, whatever. Boom. Not once did she ever apologise to me for anything she ever did. Not fucking once. When she started bashing things, she threw things of mine or my kids or anything like that. Never took accountability for her own actions. But, like I said, narcissist. But yeah, anyway. Sorry about this long ranting video. I just wanted to put it out there and just let people know what the hell was going on. How I might even do an even longer video fully detailing, or some people might just go, nope, this was enough, Dad. This was enough. We've had enough of hearing about your narcissistic bitch of an ex. And do you know what's funny? That's 2 for 2 now. That's 2 for 2. But the last 2 women that I've dated have both been narcissistic because they both... Because I broke off the relationship with them, and then within 2 weeks, they got together with someone else. So, yeah, 2 narcs. Wow. Do you think I could go for a third? I really hope not, because unfortunately, because of what's happened, I'm severely down, and I'll ever want to date again now. Dating with, because the modern dating scene, especially for someone my age, you know, I just can't be dealing with it. I can't be dealing with fucking people that are meant to be adults and they act like entitled pieces of shit, like they're fucking Gen Z. Can't stand them. But anyway, thank you ever so much for watching and then listening at that at the very end. Like I said, just wanted to give an update. Sorry, like I said before, sorry it was a bit long-winded, but I wanted to get it all out there. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully I'll be getting back into doing a lot more of my streaming stuff pretty soon, now that I'm free from the bitch's dungeon and I have my freedom back. But anyway, take care of yourselves and always remember to stay cool with it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!